I'm in here, man. I'm live. Welcome to a late edition of Wake Up to Boxing. This is the first one. Told y'all I'm back. I'm back in effect, man. Calix Boxing 2, 2.0. Make sure to hit that sub button. Make sure to hit those alerts. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Calix Boxing 2. I wanted to talk about Caleb Plant. I know all of you watched Caleb Plant versus Caleb Truax, the Battle of the Calebs. Brian Kenny made sure to say that multiple times. It's the first time ever that two Calebs are going to battle each other in a boxing match. Thought it was a lackluster performance, man. Got to be honest. And it pains me to say because I want Caleb Plant to be successful so bad. I want Caleb Plant to look good so bad for the good of boxing. I want 2021 to heat up. I want this Caleb Plant versus Canelo showdown to be big. And it seems to be building and building at 168. That what's up, G Funky Boxing. Look forward to getting with y'all tomorrow night on Hispanics Causing Panic, the best show on the YTBC, in my opinion. But I wanted Caleb Plant. Let's be honest, there were two things that we were looking for coming into this fight from Caleb Plant that we wanted to see. Because we all saw the betting odds. We all knew that this was a setup fight for a later unification fight, hopefully with Canelo. But there were two things that we wanted to see coming into this fight in particular. Number one, we wanted him to obviously win this fight decisively and in entertaining fashion. All right, we wanted a knockout. We wanted a stoppage. If not, we wanted at least some fireworks. A dominant performance, and we got a dominant performance. I mean, let's be honest about that. 120 to 108. Nobody scored a round for Truax. However, it seemed like Caleb Plant was just coasting through this, looking to get past it. And that's not what we need to see from this guy at this point in his career. Number two, what we were looking for is in the post-fight interview. We don't want Caleb Plant to treat Canelo like he's Voldemort and Harry Potter and not say his name. Dude, mention his name, say his name. How did the interview go? The interview went, hey, Caleb, you got past this fight as everybody expected. The big fight is looming with Canelo. What do you have to say? And he says something to the effect of copy and paste here. I want to unify and I want to do it here on Fox. Okay. Good, fine, whatever. But what we wanted you to say was, I want Canelo. You have to mention his name. They set it up for, dude, they set up everything for you. You're on Fox. You're facing a 37-year-old opponent with nothing left. With nothing left. This wasn't a fight that was set up for you to just coast and, just to get past it and then come on after and get in front of the mic and say, oh, I just want to unify on Fox. No, dude. They set it up. They lobbed it for you to Spike. This was set up for you from start to finish. All right? You come on, you put on a show, and then you get on the mic after the fight and say, I want Canelo. I want Canelo. Let's do it. All the marbles at 168. Let's do it. I want Canelo. I want the cash cow. That's what was supposed to happen here. They set it up perfectly for you. You're in there with a 37-year-old, and dude, no offense to Caleb Truax. The guy's a warrior. The guy's a savvy vet. All respect should be shown to him. He's a fighter. He gets in the ring. He puts his life on the line. Nothing but respect. But come on, man. We all know what was supposed to happen here. The script was written out for you. They set it up for you. You were supposed to dominate this fight in an entertaining fashion, and maybe he broke his hand in the fourth round. Maybe that did happen. Maybe he hurt his left hand. You still got the power hand, though. You still got the power hand. What's up, Run PMC? Welcome to the chat. This is going to be about 15, 20 minutes here, folks, and then the podcast is coming likely Wednesday night. That's going to be an hour 30. So just wanted to get off my quick thoughts on this, man, because it bothered me. It really bothered me because how this fight went with me was at about round 5, I knew what was going to happen. I knew you could just see it that Truax was going to last. He was going to go 12. It was going to be something like 120, 108. Maybe they were going to give him a round or two. And then Plant was just going to coast to victory. That's what it was looking like. And that's what happened. I even, my 6-year-old son was up with me watching the fight, and we turned on the Nintendo Switch on the other TV and we're playing that while I have my eye on the corner of my eye watching Plant. And the reason I stuck around was for that post-fight interview. I at least wanted the fireworks there. I at least wanted him to say, no, man, Canelo, bring it. Bring it, Canelo. Let's do this fight. And no, we didn't get any of that. And look, I don't want to be all negative with Plant here because there's a lot to like. The guy, he does have a high. It's hard to tell because we're going off the eye test because he hasn't fought anybody. So it's hard to tell, but he does look the part. The guy's a hell of a combination puncher. He's athletic, good footwork, good lateral movement. He puts together the punches well, man, and he's a good defensive fighter as well. So it seems good jab, good body puncher, and he's one of those fighters, man, that he kind of reminds me of, not in his style of fighting, but there was another 168 pounder about 5 or 6 years ago that I was bullish on, James DeGale. And when he was coming up, man, he looked the part. They're not similar in their styles, but James DeGale was a guy that, he might be able to make some noise at 168, and then it never materialized when he stepped up because he seemed to have it all there, but there was still something missing, which is weird. And the same thing is happening here with Caleb Plant. You see all the things that I just mentioned. Oh, man, the guy's got good footwork. He's got good combination punching. He can go downstairs. He's got good defense. He has all the things really in a way that Canelo has. Not as good, in my opinion, but he has it all there to where it's at least interesting to talk about. But there's still something missing. There's still something missing. And it's hard to put my finger on what it is. But I don't know. So I was just frustrated. I was left thinking I wanted that decisive and entertaining victory from Plant because if you're not fighting anybody, you have to at least look off the charts with your performances. DG0082 says all these PBC fighters are complacent fighting low. And yeah, yeah, it's true. The fight reminded me of Haney versus Gant. That's another one G Funky touches on. It's a lot of people were frustrated with Haney against Gamboa. It's like finish him, and it never materialized. And we were all tuned in for that great performance that never materialized. And yeah, that's the knock on these PBC fighters is, man, we have to start seeing the dog come out of these PBC fighters. You know, and there are some of them like Sean Porter. Sean Porter seems to be one of the exceptions to that rule. He wants to fight the top fighters. But then you get the Errol Spence. You know, it's like, man, fight Terrence Crawford. Fight Manny Pacquiao is going to fight Ryan Garcia instead of fighting the top fighters at 147. And Manny Pacquiao sort of gets a pass because of what he's done in his career. He sort of deserves that at this point. But you want to see the dog come out of these PBC fighters. And Plant seems to be of that cut from that cloth right now in that he just got $750 for an easy payday against Truax. So maybe he's looking at it like, oh, I'm going to get an easy 1.5 to fight somebody else. Why am I going to call out Canelo at this point in his career? Plant's jab, power, and power punch output is not there to beat Canelo nor Jacobs, BJS. Who has faster hands, Caleb Plant or Canelo? Hand speed, I think, is what and what, but I just don't see anybody. There's nobody at 168 or around it that I would favor against Canelo. Nobody. I think he beats Billy Joe Saunders easier than people think. And as of right now, I didn't see anything from Plant, and I was looking for it. I was hoping to see it. I didn't see anything from Plant that would make me think that Plant would take Canelo to fifth gear. I hope I'm wrong about that because I want somebody to take Canelo there, but I just didn't see that in this fight. Now, unification. The impressive thing to me about Canelo right now is if he does unify 168, it's pretty much all him, right? I mean, you got him, he has the belt, and then Billy Joe Saunders, and then Caleb Plant. Billy Joe Saunders hasn't been fighting anybody. Caleb Plant hasn't been fighting anybody. So Canelo's the one taking the initiative here. He's saying, all right, I just fought in December. I'm going to fight again in February, fight my mandatory. I'm going to call out this guy who has a belts at 168. I'm going to fight him in May, hopefully. And then I want to fight this guy who has the other belts in September or in the fall or winter of 2021, later in the year. I'm going to fight 3 times and unify the division all in 1 year. And by the way, I'm the pound for pound champ and the cash cow. So I have every reason to rest on my laurels because I can do whatever I want. But yet I'm going to be the guy to show the initiative and fight all these guys and call them out. Benavidez might give him trouble. He might, but Benavidez to me seems to be another guy who he doesn't seem ready to mix it up with these guys, right? I mean, that seems to be, other than Canelo, that seems to be the story here at 168 is everybody's in the same room just pointing at each other, but not really pointing at each other. So fight each other. And Canelo's the one mixing. Thank God Canelo's at 168 because he's finally going to give us some action there. All right, so not only would Canelo unify the belts, he would be the one pretty much doing all the work here, pretty much making all the fights here. So that would make it more impressive to me at Canelo because not all unifications are equal, right? I mean, Terence Crawford's unification, I love Terence Crawford to death. Arguably the pound for pound champ, arguably the most talented fighter in boxing. But was his unification at 140 really all that impressive? It was sort of a weak division at the time. However, Teofimo Lopez's unification of 135, which I felt was a real unification, was impressive. Although Lomachenko did most of the legwork to get to that unification up to that point, Teofimo Lopez still took the risk in that fight in order to get that fight made and brought the action in that fight to win the fight. So Canelo's doing the legwork here for these guys. Caleb Plant is basically, as I said, just everything set up for him. Everything was set up for him. I mean, he got the set. He just needs to spike it. He just needs to show the initiative. He could have put on a show on Saturday night. I like him. I mean, I like the guy. There's a lot to like there, but lackluster performance. And he's still walking into a great situation here at 168 because he's not doing much work. Not doing much work to earn this unification, but he's still going to get it. He's still going to get it. Unless he just continues to deny Canelo's existence. The guy just refuses to mention Canelo's name. Dude, I mentioned it. It's like Harry Potter and not mentioning Voldemort. I mean, it's incredible. Say his name in the post-fight interview. Don't just say, I want to unify on Fox. Let's do it. No, man. Say, I want Canelo. Benavidez issues are more self-inflicted, failing to make weight. That's what I'm saying. Like, when's Benavidez going to get it together? Much like Billy Joe Saunders. When's Billy Joe Saunders going to get it together? Is the Billy Joe Saunders fight really going to happen? Because Billy Joe Saunders, you don't know if you're going to fight Billy Joe Saunders till he shows up in the ring that night. The guy's a head case. So you have a lot of guys, you have several guys at the top of 168 who just don't have it together here, except Canelo. Canelo's got it all. He's got it all. And that's why I just don't see anybody at 168 testing this guy, because once Canelo starts hitting these guys, I'm telling you, it all goes out the window. And Billy Joe Saunders just isn't going to be able to keep this guy off of him for 12 rounds. He doesn't have the punching power. Yes, he has boxing ability, but he has boxing ability against inferior opposition. So Canelo, if everything lines up as far as the fights, and he gets the fights he wants, he'll be the unified king at the end of 168. I believe that more now than ever after watching this fight Saturday night, because there is something missing With all the talent there, there's still something missing with Caleb Plant. I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's the dog. Maybe he just doesn't have the dog in him. Maybe that dog that needs to come out in the post-fight interview and say, I want Canelo, maybe that's what's not there. I don't know. I hate to call him out for that, but something was missing. Something was missing. And good performance. I give it a C+, but not what we wanted to see. It's all set up for you, Caleb Plant. And my only question is, will that fight actually happen by the end of the year with Canelo? Will they make the fight happen? Will there be a fight in between? How bad was the hand injury? There are a lot of question marks there. However, there are no question marks with Canelo. We know what he's going to bring. He's going to bring a fight February. He's going to win it. He's going to bring a fight in May. He'll win it. If it is Billy Joe Saunders, he'll win it. He'll win it easier than y'all think. And then he'll be there waiting for Caleb Plant. And will Caleb Plant answer that call? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I have my doubts after watching Saturday night. If he really wants it. You think Canelo has a shot against guys like Burr? Yeah, I do. But yeah, 168 is where he belongs, man. 168, he doesn't need to go anywhere. Don't go to 175. 168 is where he belongs. Stay at 168. Plant your feet there. Fight these top guys at 168 who I believe he will beat and I believe he matches up well with, and then let these guys at 160 gravitate up to you. No reason for Canelo to go to 175. No reason. Stay at 168. Let everybody come to you. I agree something's missing. I was more impressed with his fights. It just seems like something's missing, man. And it's weird to say because all the tools seem to be there for Caleb Plant. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate y'all coming on, and I'll be back on in the morning, another 15, 20-minute video, and then the podcast Wednesday night. And catch me on Hispanics Causing Panic tomorrow night with D-Style and G-Funky. Looking forward to that. As always, y'all know where to catch me. And catch me in that community. I have an article coming out later on today on the community section as well. Website coming out next week. Good things coming, man. I'll hit y'all up. Peace.